Welcome to a deep dive into the foundational concepts of alchemy, drawing from Chapter 1 of A Modern Inquiry into the Hermetic Mystery, Part 1, an overview of alchemy's history and theory. We're exploring how this ancient practice, often misunderstood, wove itself through history, from early civilizations to its surprising influence on Christian thought and beyond. Rachel, the text begins by situating alchemy in ancient Rome. What does it tell us about Rome's engagement with these more subtle sciences?
It's an interesting start because Rome, known for its sheer military and economic power, didn't typically delve deeply into what the author calls the subtle sciences of nature. There's not extensive evidence of widespread alchemical practice there. However, the text points to a few intriguing instances. We hear about Emperor Caligula, driven by greed, attempting to make gold, though the results were minimal and led to financial loss. Pliny recounts this. There are also rumors about poets like Virgil, Ovid, and Horace, along with architect Vitruvius, dabbling in the black art, but these claims often carried a significant negative stigma.
So, a bit of dabbling, but largely seen with suspicion. Yet, the text then shifts to something quite compelling, the perpetual lamps. This suggests a more sophisticated understanding of certain chemical or alchemical principles. What exactly were these lamps?
These lamps are fascinating because they imply a deep grasp of chemistry and light's hidden laws. Pansperolus described them as burning for centuries without fuel. St. Augustine even noted one dedicated to Venus that was unextinguishable in his time. The most remarkable example, however, was found in 1500 near Elestes in the tomb of Tullia, Cicero's daughter. A farmer uncovered an earthen vessel containing a lamp placed between gold and silver cylinders. These cylinders held a pure liquid that likely sustained the lamp's glow for over 1,500 years.
Over 1,500 years? That's incredible. How did they attribute this remarkable feat?
Inscriptions on the urns credited Maximus Olivius as a skilled alchemist for this. The larger urns verses read, quote, "Plunderers, don't touch this sacred gift to Pluto. Its secret is beyond your grasp. Maximus Olivius, with great effort, locked the elements within, crafted through hidden wisdom. 2 urns guard this precious liquid, preserving the lamp's eternal light." End quote. The smaller urn warned, quote, "Thieves, keep away with your prying eyes. Leave with your cunning Mercury winged and wand in hand. This mighty art, sacred to Pluto, endures forever." End quote. This suggests a profound understanding of ethereal substances, possibly a divine or celestial water, capable of burning eternally as described by figures like Hermolaus Barbarus, Democritus, and even Hermes himself, sometimes linked to the essence noted in the Apocalypse of the secret spirit of nature.
That's quite a testament to a hidden knowledge in Roman times. Moving from these tangible, albeit mysterious artifacts, the text introduces another enigma, the Bolognian enigma. This one sounds like a complete riddle. What is it, and how do alchemists interpret it?
It's truly cryptic. Found in Bologna, the inscription reads, quote, "Alia Lalia Crispus, not man, not woman, not both, not virgin, youth or elder, not chaste, not harlot, not modest, but all, killed not by hunger, sword, or poison, but by all, not in heaven, earth, or water, but everywhere. Lucius, Agatho, Priscus, not husband, lover, kin, nor sad, glad or weeping, knows and knows not for whom this stands, not a monument, pyramid, or tomb, but all. A sepulchre without a body, yet the body is the sepulchre."
So these seemingly disparate pieces of evidence, perpetual lamps and abstract riddles, point to a consistent underlying philosophy. Now the discussion moves into the Christian era in Alexandria. How did alchemy fare as Christianity began to spread?
Surprisingly, early Christianity wasn't entirely hostile. In Alexandria, Christian Platonists and theologians engaged with alchemy. St. John the Evangelist, for example, is said to have used it to help the poor, creating gold, silver, and gems, as noted by St. Victor. The text mentions a Greek Catholic hymn honoring him for mending broken gems and turning rods to gold. Early Christians actually embraced alchemy's powers, seeing them rooted in sanctity and faith. The apostles established rituals using water, oil, salt, and light, viewing them as symbols of real spiritual forces.
That's a contrast to how alchemy is often portrayed later. What changed that perspective?
The text explains that later reformers dismissed these practices as mere superstitions, reducing spiritual regeneration to just belief. On the other hand, some Catholics ironically turned these symbols into idols, missing their deeper meaning and adding their own rituals, which led to division. The author suggests true understanding, as seen in accounts like Thomas Bond's of early Christian missions to Ethiopia, came from demonstrating faith's power through healing and transformation.
So a loss of the original intent caught between dismissive reformers and those ritualized without understanding. Alexandria, in particular, seems like a crucial hub for this blend of philosophy and what we might call proto-science.
Absolutely. After Christ, Alexandria became a crucible of philosophical thought. Figures like Plotinus, Philo-Judaeus, Proclus, Jamblichus, Julian, and Apuleius explored theurgic arts and Hermetic principles. Hypatia, a brilliant philosopher, taught Synesius, who later became a Christian bishop but remained devoted to alchemy. He wrote a commentary on Democritus and other works, carefully guarding these mysteries. Others like Zosimus, Heliodorus, Athenagoras, and Archelaus also contributed treatises on the Philosopher's Stone, merging mysticism with practical knowledge.
What happened to this rich intellectual tradition in Alexandria?
Tragically, the Arab conquest of Alexandria in 640 CE scattered its scholars. Caliph Omar's destruction of the library, infamously burned to heat baths for 6 months, fulfilled parts of the Asclepian prophecy, as the text notes. Religious fanaticism, from both Christian and Muslim sides, replaced intellectual zeal with dogma. The mysteries were banned, and pursuing the religion of intellect became punishable by death. A few wise individuals, however, hid their knowledge, preserving it in obscurity.
It's a stark reminder of how intellectual progress can be curtailed by dogma. But alchemy didn't disappear. It found new life, particularly in the Arab world. Who were the key figures there?
Alchemy found fertile ground in Arabia, producing giants like Geber, possibly the greatest alchemist after Hermes. His works such as Investigation of Perfection, Sum of the Perfect Magistry, and Testament were revered by later adepts like Albertus Magnus and Raymond Lully, though modern chemists often dismiss them as gibberish, a term derived from Geber's deliberately cryptic writing style. Unlike modern chemistry, Geber worked with a living universal essence, not lifeless elements, in what the text describes as a laboratory of the human spirit. His writings were designed to guide the worthy and mislead the unprepared.
So the obscurity wasn't just to hide secrets, but perhaps also to ensure only those genuinely ready could understand? From Arabia, the tradition spread back to Europe, influencing some surprisingly familiar names.
Yes, it deeply influenced European thought. Rahisis was another Arabian alchemist famous for public transmutations. Then, in the 13th century, Roger Bacon, the English friar, drew on this tradition, mastering theology, medicine, and metaphysics. He reportedly produced gold by multiplying light through nature's universal spirit, but was persecuted for his discoveries. He then veiled the practical details in his works like Speculum Alchemiae, believing such knowledge too dangerous for the unworthy, and regretting his delving into what some considered forbidden realms.
Bacon, the story, highlights that tension between discovery and the perceived dangers of knowledge. Who else in medieval Europe took up the alchemical mantle?
Many other medieval luminaries were confessed alchemists. Albertus Magnus, Thomas Aquinas, Scotus Eriugena, Arnold de Villanova, and Raymond Lully. Their works, like Albert's De Mineralibus and Aquinas's Libellus de Alchemia, describe the Philosopher's Stone with precision, emphasizing rational inquiry over greed.
Later figures like Jan Reuchlin, Marsilio Ficino, Pico della Mirandola, Spinoza, Alain de la Ile, Merlin, John Trithemius, and Cornelius Agrippa blended alchemy with Neoplatonism and Kabbalah, pushing the boundaries of knowledge. These philosophers, driven by faith and curiosity, transcended ordinary limits in their pursuit of truth through the Hermetic art.
So, despite popular misconceptions, alchemy wasn't just about turning lead into gold. For these thinkers, it was a profound intellectual and spiritual pursuit, one that connected them to a deeper understanding of nature and the cosmos. The text concludes with a quote from Thomas Norton's Ordinal of Alchemy that sums us up well.
Indeed, it says, quote, "Many seek alchemy, both true and false. The false are countless, rejected by their greed. Among thousands, scarcely 3 are chosen for this sacred knowledge." End quote. It emphasizes the rarity of true understanding and the spiritual dimension of the pursuit, setting it apart from mere material gain.
This journey through alchemy's history reveals a complex, often hidden tradition of philosophical and spiritual inquiry. It reminds us that ancient practices often held depths of understanding that defy simple categorization. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, please share it with someone who might also enjoy it.